Good morning, Patriots. How are you doing today? This is Mike the Patriot coming to you live from the downtown metropolis. Oh, it's still going. The music's still going. I thought I looped it. I thought I ended the loop. That's okay. We can make it go away just like that. Coming to you live from the downtown metropolis of LaMonte, Missouri. Yeah, where the men are men and the sheep are scared. Anyways, it is a beautiful day in central Missouri. It's 39 degrees and sunny. Looks like it's going to get up to 50 today. I saw where some friends in Florida were posting that it was freezing in Florida. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It got down to 59 degrees. Got to put the cardigans on and light the fires and get out the gloves and the hot chocolate. Anyway, Floridians, they're a little weak when it comes to the cold, but that is, somebody says, is that Ogbu snack bar on my shirt? It is. Thanks for asking. You can get your own Ogbu snack bar t-shirt. Links are in the description section. I may have to kind of stand up a little bit for you to see it, but see, there it is right there. Ogbu snack bar. Get your own shirt, ladies and gentlemen. Don't want you to see I have my sweatpants on this. Oh, yes. It's nice to be working out of your home where you ain't got to put on your boots, go out and roll around in the mud and the muck and the mire like I used to. Anyways, yes, California is a bit chilly at 60 degrees, Carol says. Oh, I remember. It never rains in Southern California. It's actually a song. But anyways, I'm glad you all out there logging in from sea to shining sea. I see y'all. Make sure you comment. Let us know where you're at. Make sure you hit the reaction button. Make sure if you're watching this live or on the rerun, you hit the reaction button and you comment and you share and you tag and whatnot. Anybody you can, wherever you can. Let's wake up the algorithm. So, especially over there on YouTube's and Rumble makes a difference. Facebook, it may or may not. Who knows? They said I'm a new rising creator star. They say that I get enough interaction and all this stuff, but that doesn't mean they're going to let anybody see my videos. And they'll tell me that 400 people watched my video on YouTube or on Facebook, but I'll have 1,100 comments, and I'm like going, that math ain't nothing. I bet you I got a lot more viewers. They're just not reporting them, which is stupid because Facebook makes money keeping eyeballs on the screen. You would think they would say, here's a guy that can produce an audience. Let's run some ads on it and then charge people for ads. And because I can produce an audience that interacts, meaning they know that they're real and they're not some sort of robot, they can charge more. But no, these people don't care about making money. Says, I don't see your show on Rumble, yet you're commenting. It's weird. Try logging out. Of course, if you're not seeing my show, then you don't know that I'm saying this. But if you ever have a problem and you're on Rumble, like the show's not coming up, it's just on the repeat of the intro song, log out, log back in. That sometimes I have to do that. Sometimes it's just, it's a software. It's just a machine like everything else. And sometimes things don't go as planned. So anyways, make sure you follow me on the other socials. You need to do that because, well, you just never know. You can follow me on TikTok at MikeCook82, although I haven't been doing much over there. They've muted it, and it's not fun when they've muted it down. You can follow me on X or Twex or X Twitter or whatever you want to call it, at Patriot Mike Show, at Patriot Mike Show. You can follow me on Truth, at Patriot Mike Show. You can follow me on Facebook at Patriot Mike Show or Righteous Rebellion 197. Where does that get that? Because right there is I'm a righteous rebel. Oops. My screen just flipped on me. You can also follow me at my personal page, Mike Cook, on Facebook. You can follow me on the TikToks. You need to, or not TikToks, on the Telegram. There's too many T's going on here. What is going on? There we go. My screen's acting all crazy. You can't see it, but it's my side. You could go to telegram.org, download the app. Once you do that, create an account. then just type in or just click on the link in the description section to any of these and hit the join button at the bottom. That's where all of these videos, everything that you see comes from there. A lot of people will go to grab my stuff and share it on their social media. See, if you take a screenshot of the meme on my Telegram page from today, it's more than likely it's not made it to Facebook yet. It's also, when you take a screenshot and you share it, it's your original content. It's less likely that the algorithms on Facebook will get you for that. Now, if you're sharing other people's stuff Facebook to Facebook or in the Facebook Messenger or from Facebook Messenger, they're all over that. That's how you get your suspensions and stuff. The algorithm has already got that one. That's why you'll hardly ever see me play a video or share a meme or something like that from Facebook, because Facebook's all over that one. And make sure you also follow me on Rumble. When you're on Rumble, you can go join me on Locals. Locals is a community. It's kind of like Facebook. You can chat and talk back and forth, and it's $5 a month. Help support the show. You don't have to if you don't want to. But if you're over on Rumble, create an account. And once you do that, then you can be in the live chat room as long as you watch it on your phone or your computer. And you can, if you're watching on your TV or something like that, it won't work. But you can chat away with all the chatty folks. By far more people right now, 3 times as many people are watching me on Rumble than anywhere else combined. It's just because Rumble doesn't censor. They allow in free speech. That's why I got their name, Rumble, in the arena of ideas. So go over there and do that. Everywhere else sucks. So let's get started with the show. First, we got United Nations set to call on Americans to reduce meat consumption. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You rascally Americans eat too much meat, and the United Nations they want you to stop. They want you to stop. Here is the story according to Fox News. Let me mute that real quick. So, the lead United Nations agency overseeing food and agricultural policy is expected to issue a roadmap in the coming weeks, which will call on the West, including America, to dramatically reduce its meat consumption. Now, first, let me just say this. Some bureaucrat in some faraway land that's never been to Sedalia, Missouri, is going to try to tell us we have too many cows. This is the problem with communism. It may work just fine in Brussels, where you can eat your Brussels sprouts or something. I don't know. Thanks, Mike, for that. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. He says, thank you for what you do. Well, if you weren't out there watching, I'd just be talking to myself. Would be kind of weird. So this is the problem with bureaucrats. This is the problem with socialism. They have no idea what's going on around here. The UN's Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO, will publish its so-called Global Food System Roadmap during the upcoming COP28. Yes, right. All the millionaires and the millionaires and the billionaires are going to fly out there in their corporate jets. I used to be mad at the millionaires, but now I is one. That's right. They're going to fly out there, and all the, they're expecting a ton of them, like 7,000 of them, corporate jets, to tell us that we need to stop driving our Ford pickup trucks, even though we will never burn in our lifetime what they burnt in that one trip. Yeah, Michelle, I'm not a veterinarian either. I mean, a vegetarian. Anyways, so the United Nations, so they're going out there to the climate summit in Dubai, which will kick off on Thursday and extend nearly 2 weeks until advertising until mid-December. Yes, right, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to Dubai in the desert in mid-December to cry about global warming, because They don't want to go to, I don't know, Colorado or North Dakota or up there with Aaron in Toronto, because Aaron sent me Aaron Patriot, the Canadian Patriot. He sent me pictures the other day of him on the ice skating rink where it was minus 6 gazillion degrees. I told him he could keep it. Not interested. For some reason, them Canadians, they like to skate around on the ice when it's, minus 9,000. They've got their parka thing, like their eyeballs sticking out like this so they don't get the frostbite. That's what we make heaters for inside. Just saying. He's not on the show yet, or he'd be commenting. So when he comes on the show, tell him I was make sure you let him know I was talking about him. FAO's first of its kind document will recommend nations that overconsume meat to limit the consumption as part of the broader effort to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Okay, that's great. That's fine for you commo-fascist countries. We have this little thing called the Constitution, and it says I can eat whatever doggone meat I want. It says, well, it doesn't say that specifically, but it says we're endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable life. Among these are rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And if I'm going to have life and I'm going to have liberty, I'm going to have a steak. And if I'm going to have the pursuit of happiness, I'm going to have bacon. And if you don't like it, well, I have the Second Amendment to tell you I don't care what you don't like. Anyways, the future of leading meat and dairy companies to reduce emissions underlies the urgent need for more policy focused on food and agricultural sector. Jeremy Kohler whined, the chair and founder of FAIRR Initiative, FAIRR, fair, and it may supposed to be fairer. An investor network that works with financial institutions to promote climate-friendly agriculture worldwide. All we got to do is just decarbonize the planet, and we won't have to worry about it anymore. Food system emissions deserve a place at the top of the table, alongside energy and transport, as they represent the estimated third of greenhouse gases emissions, which don't exist, and 40% of methane. He continued. Investors hope the first ever publication of the Food Agriculture Roadmap at COP28 this month will catalyze the transition to 1.5 degrees and more sustainable food system. They'll be dining on caviar and Kobe beef over there as they fly in on their corporate jets, but not for you. You eat these bugs. Well, that all sounds wonderful, but I'm not going to comply, because we still have the Amish and the Mennonites around here. And, well, they raise cows and pigs and goats and chickens and llamas and giraffes. I don't know. So, yeah. Mom, you have to refresh it probably. It's playing on my Rumble right now. I'm looking at it. There's 376 people watching along with me. So my mom's commenting saying that it's not working on her TV. Aaron says it's a great day for ice skating. He has an extra pair of skate. My feet are too big, Aaron. It won't fit. And I'm not coming. I'll tell you what you can do. Aaron. You come on down here, and we'll go to in the summertime, and we'll go to the Lake of the Ozarks, maybe Truman Lake right next to it, do some crappie fishing. Yeah. You have to bring your hat. Bring your hat. I'll wear my cowboy hat. You wear whatever the Canadians wear to keep the sun. I guess you don't wear much to keep the sun off you because you don't got much sun. But but you come on down here where it's warm, or better yet, yeah, and shoot too. Yeah, I'll introduce you to some of my good friends, and we'll go shooting. Something you can't do much of there in Canada anymore. because of blackface. I mean Trudeau. So record holiday spending is good news. So the powers that be have decided that this was a record year for holiday spending. It's been amazing. These companies are all going to be in the black. It's wonderful. It was the bestest Black Friday ever in Black Friday's histories. Just one problem. Consumers used buy now, pay later schemes to spend $7.3 billion from November 1st to November 26th, up 14% from a year ago per Adobe. These basically vendor third-party financing programs, which don't show up on already maxed out credit cards. And it's showing you buy now, pay later schemes from PayPal, Amazon Pay, Afterpay, Affirm, is that Karma, Perpay, Zip, Zizzle. Yeah, right. That's a good idea because that's going to. And one of the other things that they don't tell you, consumers spent more money than ever before. Yeah, but did they buy more stuff? Did they buy more per item, or stuff just cost more? Yeah, they failed to mention that. And then there's this. You got to be careful out there, ladies and gentlemen. There's a scam born every minute. There's this one right here. This is at Walmart. Say it ain't so.
This is okay. How come this is supposed to be a lot heavier because it's got more weight on it than this one? This one's 1802. I put this on the scale. It's at 4.3 pounds or something. It has on here at 6.17. This is the second time it's happened to me, but fortunately I caught it this time before going home. Which one's heavier for you? This one, right? But if you look, this is only 2.98, 2.92 pounds or whatever it is. This is 6. This isn't 6 pounds, man. It's only 4, not even 4.5 pounds. So you guys are charging people for 6.17 pounds. That's a good one. I'm glad I caught it this time because last time I took it home and I was out money on that. I want this, but I'm just bringing this to your attention. You're a manager. Something needs to be done about this because how many other people that don't realize this, that I'm not saying you, but the company in general is ripping off.
Dude was like, he's still standing there holding that thing. He doesn't know what to do with it.
Well, listen, I get what you're saying, but did you already purchase this?
No, I didn't purchase it.
All right, which one?
But I'm just saying.
No, I totally get exactly what it is you're saying. So, is that what you wanted to tell me?
Absolutely. Or yes, that's all I want to tell you.
Okay, all right. I don't want to take anything out your bag, but do you say you don't want this or you?
No, I don't want it because it's showing that it's 6.17 pounds.
But this year's okay.
Yeah, I'm taking all this.
Okay. I'm trying to report it now so they can catch it.
Like I said, this is the second time it's happened to me. I've actually turned this Walmart into the scale and weight down in Austin. And they said if it happens, agency contact them. So I'm letting you guys know because I didn't let anybody else know before because when I opened it up, I was at home and I had it on a scale because I'm like, this is a lot heavier than this, but that's more expensive. Look, that's $18. This is only $15. That's $3 more, and I'm getting 2 pounds less.
Yes, sir.
You see what I'm getting at?
Yes, sir. I got you.
That's it.
So Marta makes a comment that says that Walmart doesn't package most of their meat. They don't package any of their meat. So Walmart's probably being ripped off in this situation too, tell you the truth. But I won't buy meat that way. I don't buy meat from Walmart at all. Like I said, I buy my meat locally. There's a couple Mennonite processors. They just opened another one up. local families selling local meat. I just won't do it. I just won't, just because I trust where I. Mark Wagonish says that he buys his meat in LA. That's right. They just opened here in LaMonte, Missouri, across the street on the highway, a Mennonite processing plant, and they have pretty good meat. So my favorite one's a different one, but that I'm not opposed to that one either. So yes, I just stay away from it. And here's the thing: when you got to weigh your meat now to find out if they're lying to you, because that's what I always wanted to do. So yesterday, gold closed at $2,047 an ounce. Silver at $25.09. It's a little bit low this morning. It's at $2,044, but it's going up. Not sure. Got to scroll down to see silver. It's not up there. Silver's up at 25.14. So excuse me. Things are looking up in the gold and silver department. See, things are about to get crazy. Stock up on real money in exchange for your fiat currency. This is from Silence Dogood on Telegram, which is a liability owned by an insolvent banking system. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Your dollar bill in your pocket or in your bank account is a note. It is a debt instrument. It is an IOU from somebody who's $33 trillion in debt. Just put it that way. Is 2024 the year that the United States sees modern Weimar hyperinflation? It could be over in a few weeks, a few months. But I don't see that kind of systemic event dragging out much longer than that. That's his thought, but I don't know. This one is the real home price index adjusted for inflation. So there was a bubble that busted in 2006, 2007, 2008. And then they had the Dodd-Frank bill, which made it even easier for the banks to do this kind of stuff. And now we're into another bubble. Bubbles burst. But the problem is this time, it's not a housing bubble. It's a housing bubble. It's an automobile bubble. It's an asset. It's a money bubble. Everything is bubbled. Everything is inflation. Everything is going to correct. The Kim Clement prophecy way back when, before Donald Trump became president, is 20,000. Don't trust the stock market, but watch 20,000. Shortly after Donald Trump became president, the stock market went from like 18,000 to 20,000 and beyond, went almost to 40,000. Almost to 40,000. Right now it's at 35,508. It was just shy of 40,000 when Joe Biden took office. So it's down 5,000 now. Or close to it. 4,000. I don't believe that was meant for the going up. I believe that we're going to see a shock. It may take multiple days. It may happen in a day. I don't know that it can happen in a day because they've got safeguards that once it loses 5%, the stock market loses 5%, it freezes the stock market. But I can see where the stock market goes in a couple of days' time, down from 35,508 to below 20,000. That'd be a 15,000 point drop. So the problem is not that the houses are worth more. It's that the money is worth less, and it takes more of the money to purchase the things that you've been trying to purchase. It says this is an inflation-adjusted real estate index of 20 major U.S. cities, which gives the broadest representation of values, and Robert Schuller's data on a gold standard of his own. The data shows that we are in a massive bubble, far larger scale than 2003 to 2007, yet people seem paralyzed or conditioned in thinking that the real estate prices will keep going up, 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 up. It never goes down. Real estate prices never go down. What do you see here? This is 1910. Let's let this word fade out of the way. 1920 to 1940, 1950. What do you see here? That's real estate prices going down. Think about that. Yet people seem paralyzed or conditioned to think that real estate prices will keep going up. Real prices will fall without massive fiat printing. In other words, if they stop printing the money, the prices of everything will collapse. They have to keep printing. They have to keep printing the money. They have to. They don't have a choice. One or the other will mathematically happen. Fiat currency printers will be diverted to precious metals, hard asset projects, and high profit margin enterprises only. This 40-year game of Candyland is over. People are about to find out that money has a real cost, and it ain't cheap. And that's the truth. And here's another point. Who will have that money? Not the banks. They're broke and insolvent, along with their drunk and insolvent Uncle Sam. As George Gammon says, you have the money stacked away in your safes and private storage. So what do they mean by that? You have the money. I have the power. If you have went out in the last few years and done what, other professional people have suggested, because I make no advice, and purchase things of real value, things that if you hold it, you own it, that when all this goes poof. So I was watching some Keith Smith. Trey Smith. I'm going to meet him. He's going to be at the event that I'll be at this week. I will not have a show on Friday because I'll be heading to Tennessee, and at 6 p.m. at the Hilton there by the highway in Mount Juliet, Tennessee, out by Greg Locke's place, the Hilton Garden Inn, I think it is. They're having a little meet and greet with some of the podcasts, some other folks there, and he's going to be one of the folks there. So I'm going to get to meet him, and I've never met him. That'll be fun. And but he was playing some Kim Clement prophecies, and that indicate, it says that those that are used to eating delicacies will eat ash heaps. It says their children will be food for them. That may be metaphorically. See, in the Old Testament, when you read in the Old Testament, there was many a times that the enemy would surround the capital, whether it was Samaria or Jerusalem. And as it was, I think Samaria, where this story actually happened, and they surround it, and people would starve. That was warfare back then. People would build these castles. One of Murphy's undeniable truths of combat: if your fortress is so impenetrable, the enemy can't get in, you can't get out. And so what they would do with siege warfare is they would surround these cities that have walls and all this stuff and just wait 6 months, a year, 2 years, however long it takes. In no hurry. But so pretty soon they run out of food. One of the things people would do is they'd eat their own children to stay alive. I mean, and so this may be a metaphoric prophecy, but it may have double meaning. Again, don't predict prophecy. But what it seems is that we're going to go through a time where the people who ate delicacies, the people who had riches, will have nothing. Well, if you think about it, wealth, millionaires and the billionaires, they got all this money, millionaires and the billionaires. Well, if all your millionaires and all your billionaires have their money in assets, have their money in cash, have their money in bonds and stocks, have their money in various instruments to make your money work for you. That's not a bad idea. But you take a look at people like Robert Kiyosaki, people like Economic Ninja, people like Robbie Farber, that are out there talking. They've all diversified. They've all sold out of all their investments, put it into a cash position. If you're like Robert Kiyosaki, he's put himself into gold and silver positions. Because I think what's going to happen is all these people who have great wealth and have lived high on the hog because of this inflationary period, they took advantage of the inflationary period of the ability to let your so-called money work for you. And they acquired great wealth, but it's all fake. It's all monopoly money. It's all fiat. And when it crashes, it'll evaporate into thin air. It'll cease to exist. Have you ever seen when the stock market crashes, stock market goes down 2,000 points or something like that, and then they say, oh, $1.5 trillion disappeared in the stock market crash today. Well, how did it disappear? Where did it go? Because it never really existed. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. This wealth that these people have will evaporate into nothing and be gone. Just because it never really existed in the first place. But those of you who went out, heeded the warning that of other people out there, not stuff I said, because I don't give any kind of advice. I'm not a professional. Yeah, Michelle says, just like my 401k in 2008, poof, gone. Exactly. Because you want to know why? Your 401k is just numbers in the sky somewhere. It doesn't really exist. I mean, your bank account where you deposited you got a check, a piece of paper. A lot of you don't even get checks. You just get a direct deposit. You get numbers that move in cyberspace from one computer to another. Zip bang. Zip bang. Money just moves around, or you write a check. That's nothing but a promise. And your boss gives you a check, you take it over to the bank, you put it in there, poof, there's numbers on a computer somewhere. But nothing actually really exists. None of that exists until you hold it in your hand. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. That doesn't matter if it's a gold coin, doesn't matter if it's a silver bar, doesn't matter if it's a pile of lead, it doesn't matter if it's a pile of copper or brass, it doesn't matter if it's steel tubes, it doesn't matter if it's beanie weenies or ramen noodles, it doesn't matter. If it's not in your possession, it doesn't exist. It's nothing. It's a promise. So when this event happens, and I believe it's going to happen, I believe that there's no choice if it happened. We're 33, 34, 35, 36, 37 trillion dollars in debt. And the government doesn't show any sign. We have a $4 trillion income revenue in our government. $4 trillion, which by far is greater than any other nation on the planet. By far, like multiple times. Yet we spend $6.5 to $7 trillion a year. We borrowed $1.5 trillion between June and September, and of that $1.5 trillion, we did $1 trillion of it in a week, the first part of June. We're expected to borrow another $1.5 trillion by the end of December. We're spending, that's $3 trillion that we spent that we didn't have. We on a revenue of $4 trillion from June to December. There's nothing there. $4 trillion, we spend $7 trillion. Like I said, we're going to spend by December, we're going to spend $3 trillion more than we took in. $3 trillion of debt by December, by the end of December. We have a $4 trillion income. Just think about that for a minute. That doesn't include the other that we're already spending. That's above and beyond. We have to borrow from somebody. And you want to know something? Nobody's lending us any money. So now we're just making it up out of whole cloth. The only people buying the bonds that the feds are issuing is us, the Fed. This is what the Weimar Republic did. This is what Zimbabwe did. This is what Argentina did. Venezuela did. When you get to the point that no one will buy your debt, so you monetize it yourself. It's OVER. The shell game has commenced. And it's just a matter of time before the collapse happens. And that's where we are. I mean, I don't like that. I don't like hearing that. It doesn't matter if you don't like it. Breaking. Apple shutting down its credit card partnership with Goldman Sachs. According to the Wall Street Journal, the contract will be terminated within the next 12 to 15 months. The exit will cover the entire consumer partnership, which began in 2019. This includes shutting down the savings account program that started this year. Their partnership was supposed to run through 2029, a rare failure from Apple. Let me tell you something. Apple was started by Steve Jobs and another one of his partners, can't think of his name, back in the 70s. A couple of guys, they went out to Radio Shack, they got some parts, they made a computer. It was a brainchild of Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was a visionary. Now, he was this, he was that, he was cabal, whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about he's a visionary. He's a dreamer. He had idea man. In the mid 80s, Steve Jobs had ideas for the iPhone, for the iPod, for the tablet, for all this stuff. You got to remember, before Steve Jobs came out with the iPod, nobody streamed. Before Steve Jobs came out with the iPhone, nobody had a personal computer in their pocket. Before Steve Jobs came out with the tablet, there were no tablets. It was his visionary. It changed, it created marketplaces. The corporation ousted Steve Jobs in the early 90s, and from they was a visionary. They was the leader. People copied their ideas. IBM, Microsoft, all these big tech companies, Hewlett Packard, all of a sudden they copied what Steve Jobs came up with. Then they ousted him, and Apple floundered for several years till they brought him back. When they brought him back, he had all these ideas. And next thing you know, you had the iPods, the phones, the iPads, the tablets, and all this stuff started happening. Well, Steve Jobs, they can't bring him back. He's gone. He's wherever he is in eternity. And now Apple is floundering. Apple keeps bringing out their latest iPhone 96, which does everything that the iPhone 95 did. It's just cooler and got a different paint scheme. But are they coming out with anything new? Are they creating entirely new markets? Before 2007, you had the flip phone, and you text by 123 121 123 1231, right? And then they came out with the iPhone and changed the way it was done. But he's gone now. So Apple is just floundering again because they have no visionary. Without vision, man shall perish. Without vision, companies perish too. And they need to find another dreamer. They need to find another dreamer because they're going to go off into obscurity. At some point in my lifetime, someone will buy Apple. Some bigger corporation will buy Apple, and that will be the end of that. It'll happen because the visionary is gone. Got a little bit more on the finances here. Where is that at right there? Why did I miss that? Oh, there it is, right here. Okay. Federal Reserve is running losses due to cost. Does this cost anyone anything? Financial statements of the Federal Reserve, which consist of the Board of Governors in Washington and 12 distinct reserve banks across the country, indicate that the consolidated system has generated both capital and operating losses for the past couple of years. The Fed was created in 1913 to issue and circulate an elastic currency. Because before they could do elastic currency, in other words, manipulate the market, you had to use gold and silver, and they couldn't manipulate gold and silver. That could respond to customers' demand for cash. Who is the Federal Reserve's customer? Anybody want to guess? Who's the customer of the Federal Reserve? Anybody? Who's the customer? Is it you? No. It's the participating partners. Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, JP Morgan Chase. Those are so their customers' demands for cash. That's who their customers are. End bank runs, known then as money panics, and serve as the lender of last resort to the nation's commercial banks. That's their customers. And they wanted to protect their customers from from the plebes pulling their money out of their banks. How is it possible that the Fed could be losing money after 100 years of operation? Because they're broke like the rest, because their money is worthless. Their money is worthless. And then there's this story right here. Bank of Japan paper losses on the JGB, Japan bond holding, grows to a record $71 billion. The Bank of Japan unrealized losses on its Japanese government bond holdings swelled to 10.5 trillion yen, or $71.2 billion at the end of September, according to financial statements released Tuesday. Japan is the number one holder of U.S. debt. And if they start selling the debt to cover they start selling our paper, our bonds, this is the end of it. This is let the panic ensue. Everything that they're doing right now, when they lie to you about how great the economy is, when Karine Jean-Pierre went up there and said, this is the cheapest Thanksgiving we've ever had, ever. And then the Babylon Bee mocks them by saying, yeah, if you don't buy anything, it is because people have realized, they can't have you realizing what's going on. Because if you realize what's going on, you panic and you pull your money out of their system. And if you remove their money out of their system and say, put it somewhere else where you hold it, because if you don't hold it, you don't own it. And let me give you an example of, here's Peter St. Onge. This is from yesterday. And this is what he's talking about. They want you to keep your money in their system. They want you to keep their money in their hands so they control it, because whoever holds it owns it. So they can keep manipulating. All the while, they're sell. They're selling right now. Bill Gates is selling. Warren Buffett is selling. Jeff Bezos is selling. All these government with their insider trading are selling. But they're telling you, just keep your money in there. Here's Peter St. John reporting how Americans are starting to pull their money out of the system.
Yesterday, Bloomberg reported that hardship withdrawals from retirement accounts are soaring. Turns out now we know why consumers are spending their raiding the 401k, because cat food is, in a pinch, edible. According to a study by Fidelity Investments, last year 2.3% of American workers, that's almost a million, took a hardship withdrawal from their retirement accounts, which is up 30% on the year. It was even worse for those with a 401k. For them, 2.8% took a hardship withdrawal, including so-called in-service withdrawals. The number was 3.2%. Why are they withdrawing? The top two reasons given were avoiding eviction or foreclosure, so losing their house, and unpaid medical bills. At this point, fully 1 in 6 American workers is carrying an outstanding loan on their retirement accounts, which is up nearly 500,000 on the year. As Bloomberg put it, quote, Americans are increasingly tapping their retirement savings amid higher cost of living pressures, adding that Americans outside the wealthiest 20%, so the bottom 80% of us, have, quote, run out of extra savings generated during the pandemic and now have less cash than when COVID began. Keep in mind, these are Americans with jobs, so we can only imagine what's happening to people who don't have full-time income. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained. The background here is pandemic savings soared, propping up consumer spending, but that is now apparently running out. Hardship withdrawals now join record credit card balances, paying 21% interest, as worrying signs that Americans are draining out financially. A recent survey found that 57% of Americans can't cover an unexpected $1,000 cost, and now millions more are on their way. When they are tapped, they will stop spending, dragging down receipts across the economy, And so much for the soft landing. More important, soaring withdrawals are pulling down retirement savings. So the average 401k balance was just over 107,000 last year. That's down 4,000 in just 3 months. If you're earning 5% returns a year, 107,000 would give you a monthly retirement income of precisely $448.75. Even with Social Security, that's just over $2,000 to live on. So imagine living on $2,000 with no job right now. Finally, Congress plans a new rule in 2024 to make it even easier to withdraw retirement savings. Millions of Americans likely will. That would give a boost to consumer spending just in time for the election. It could even soften that landing at the expense of millions more drained out at retirement age. A lot of the statistics I talk about day to day can seem dire, but over time, like grains of sand, they add up to a catastrophe that, as always, nobody saw it coming. Okay, we'll be watching.
No, I didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming. People like me have been screaming about it for years. So if you didn't see it coming, you're just a conspiracy theorist, a doomsdayer. Look, as you look back at history for the last umpteen gazillion years, every time a country debased its currency failed. Every time. Every single time. Not one time did it ever succeed. A lot of times when their currencies failed, their countries or empires failed too. Yeah. So, hey, what do I know? I'm just some schmuck on the internet. I don't know nothing. But so if they can't this is the one. Let's see here. If they can't, this is the one. If they can't stop you from pulling your money out of the bank, if they can't stop you from leaving their system, what they're going to do is stop you from talking about it. This is over in Ireland, but you know that these how shall I say this? Fine people in our government want to do the same here. If they could just, that pesky constitution, they could just, Barack Hussein Obama, it's a constitution of negative. It's a constitution of negative priorities. We need to change it so that government could do what it needs to do to take care of the people. What does he mean by negative priorities? Because the Constitution says the government can do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. Then it says anything not mentioned in those things, it cannot do. If it's not mentioned, it can't do. They want to flip that to say the government can do anything except for this, 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 and this. That's what they want. But our founding fathers were brilliant. They said the Constitution is only allowed to do these things. Did I talk about this yesterday, or did I just think about it really loud? But there's a case going before the Supreme Court against the FTC that if the Supreme Court rules against the FTC, it will make all alphabets agencies unconstitutional because they don't have the constitutional authority to exist. There is that. The Irish government is seeking to make all unapproved memes illegal. But the U.S. is actually one step ahead of them. You won't believe what they're trying to do in Ireland regarding unapproved memes. However, you should believe it because it is essentially already happening in the United States, and the majority of people aren't even aware of it. Ireland is seeking to make it illegal to store unapproved memes on devices like your phone. Yes, it sounds like something out of communist North Korea, but what you probably don't realize is that you're already laying the groundwork for the same thing here in the United States, thanks to the case involving a young man by the name of Douglas McKay. Now, let's take a closer look at how this connects and what's happening with the Irish bill. In essence, the bill is approved. If the bill is approved, it would mean that under Irish law, any political discussions labeled as unapproved and the act of saving unapproved memes on your device would become illegal. This isn't as outrageous and undeniably, this isn't just outrageous and undeniably draconian. The Irish Prime Minister should be forced to resign over this tyranny. I played this video the other day where she was saying that, for the common good, we need to put limits on this stuff. For the common good. They are openly restricting freedom for the common good, and it sounds a lot like the great COVID reset, right? So this actual text of the bill in Ireland that the government is trying to pass, they will literally jail you for memes you saved on your phone. It says, offense for preparing or processing material likely to incite violence or hatred against a person on account of their protected characteristics. Now, who determines what hate is? You see, it sounds like you're a Cambridge Analytical victim. That's what Larry says over there on YouTube. That's nice. Whatever. I'm just reading the article. I mean, don't take it up with me. I'm just reading it, reading what it says. Oh, make sure you report me to YouTube so they can kick me off because I'm waiting for it. Then I can talk about it. Douglas McKay. Now, here's what's in the United States of America right now. Douglas McKay was convicted of election interference and conspiracy simply for sharing an obvious humorous meme that poked fun at Hillary and her low info supporters. Now he's facing 7-month sentence in federal prison just for sharing a meme on Twitter nearly 8 years ago. It's also important to note that there were no actual victims as a result of Mr. McKay sharing that meme, yet he's still going to jail for it. The situation is equally, if not more outrageous than what's unfolding in Ireland. Douglas McKay recently joined Tucker Carlson to talk about his trial, conviction, and the emerging American political state or police state. I'm not going to play the video, but what he did is he posted a meme. He posted a meme that said that all Hillary Clinton voters in 2016 can vote by text or by email or something. And it was a joke, and he went to jail. Now, there was a very well-known TikTok star and lady YouTube, whatever star, that Instagram, whatever it was, who made a video saying that we got to get out and support Donald Trump. Again, we're going to vote on Wednesday when the election was on Tuesday. No one did anything to her because, well, it's okay to make memes. Those are politically approved by the state memes when you do it to Donald Trump. But when you do it to Hillary, well, those are not state approved. You see, our First Amendment was specifically created for this purpose. It was specifically for political speech. That's what our First Amendment's all about. You have the right to say whatever you want to say about anybody, especially politically. But he's being mean to me. Well, guess what, Buttercup? You're running for politics. Toughen up. Put your big boy panties on. We're allowed to do that. My gosh, Our founding fathers freaking had duels with each other outside of the Capitol. They walked out and shot each other. We're a bunch of my sister sent me a message on Facebook yesterday. My sister, she's I won't say how old she is, but she'll always be older than me. And and she lives out in California. I don't know why. That's where my family's from, but I keep telling her to get out of that godforsaken place. She's bought herself an SRT with the V8 in the 5-speed, or the 6-speed or whatever it is. It's a standard. And she says, "You won't believe this, Mike, but these dudes, they come out, they look at my car and they just love it. They talk about, then they look in the window and see that it's a stick, and they get these looks on their face because they can't drive it." And I said, "I bet they all have man buns too." She goes, "Yes, they do." Oh, yes. These latte drinking, man bun, tight pants wearing dudes who wouldn't know which end is the open end of a open end boxed in wrench, don't have a clue, can't drive a standard because they're not real. They've been emasculated. They got to shave all the hair off their chest because their little preppy little girlfriends don't like men. But you come out here to God's country where you got some real men doing real men stuff. It's a different story. But out there in California, like I said, she said it's a theft deterrent device because all these little juvenile delinquents don't know how to drive a standard. I said, don't count on it. You'll get some foreigner in here and they'll know how to drive it. They'll take your car away from you. So let's switch subjects just a little bit here for the, just to have some fun. It says, does it seem at least a little suspicious? Elon Musk is tweeting out. He's been tweeting out about Pizzagate. Oh my gosh, people are upset about it. Pizzagate is back. What poor red state did you not graduate high school in? Actually, Larry, I graduated from high school from California. Yeah, I did. I never went to college. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I graduated from high school in California with a 4.0. That's right. I did. I read at the 3rd grade level. Was put in all the dumb classes. But I bet, Larry, you missed my opening of the show. I bet you have all your life savings in the big banks and in the retirement, making your money work for you, right? You're probably doing pretty good for yourself. Got yourself your pension from your union job. Doing good. I bet you are. Yeah, well, this uneducated moron, you should go watch the first part of my show, because if you don't hold it, you don't own it, even your pension. What happens to your pension when your company goes broke, ceases to exist? Yeah, I did. Lancaster, California, Alamo Valley High School, class of 1989. When I joined the Army in 1989, I actually read at the 3rd grade level. You know what I decided to do? I decided that I didn't want to be dumb, as the system made me, that I wanted to learn to read and write. So I decided that when I was in the Army, that I was going to read the King James Bible. If I could read and understand the King James Bible, I figured I could read and understand just about anything. Then I read a lot of other books like Unlimited Wealth by Paul Zane Pilder and Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kalinowski and The Art of the Deal by Donald Trump and The Art of War by Sun Tzu and Atlas Shrugged and Fountainhead in 1984. And a gazillion other books that I can't even think of off the top of my head. how to get rich and influence people, how to win friends and influence people, how to think and grow rich. I'm conflating two different books. I read a lot of books. Then I decided that I didn't want to be dumb. So if I don't want to be dumb, I need to learn from some smart people. But I don't want to learn from the educated people, because educated people aren't necessarily smart. So if I want to have money, maybe I should listen to people that have money. Yeah. If I want to understand politics, maybe I should listen to people that understand politics. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And that's what I did. Just saying. Now back to Elon Musk. Now, Larry's not going to like this because, we're talking about that conspiracy theory Pizzagate. That's been disproven, just like the meme says here. And pretty soon you won't be able to have memes like this because they don't want you talking about it. Why wouldn't they want you talking about this, Larry? What do you think? So Elon Musk, who's might be a smart guy, maybe not smart as Larry, but smart enough to amass $350 billion. But what do I know? It put rockets in space and I don't know, the guy does a lot of crazy stuff. It says, does seem the least bit suspicious. What seems the meme seems to, it says Pizzagate is real. No, it isn't. We have experts. They're trafficking children. But we have experts. Your experts just went to jail for child porn. Oh, that's right. The guy, Larry, the guy who was the lead, I think it was NBC, who was one of the lead debunkers of the Pizzagate theory, just went to jail and pled guilty to possession of child porn and trafficking minors. Yeah. Doggone the luck on that one. Gee whiz. Ultra Peppy Lives Matters says Elon Musk is doing exactly what Anon's wished for all these years. He's making Pizzagate mainstream news. All he had to do was take over a platform, get attacked by people who did Pizzagate, and then seek revenge by posting dark memes on the internet. But here we are. The exact same message we all wanted to spread across the world is slowly building into a crescendo. The pedophiles the preverts are literally embedded in the media, like the guy that just got arrested. And the longstanding institutions that people hold dear and we are censored off the internet for telling everyone about, well, if this isn't winning, and I don't know what is. Yep. Isn't it crazy? And the media is fit to be tied all over the interwebs over this post. They're not happy. Almost 7 years exactly after Comet ping pong shooting, the world's richest man is out to revive Pizzagate. Oh, by the way, ping pong pizza had nothing to do with Pizzagate. That was another story. It was just equated because they used the ping pong pizza to cover up the rest of it. But I digressed. Let's continue. We'll get to that in a minute. On return from his Israel apology tour, Elon Musk pivots to promoting QAnon conspiracy theories that led to dozens of incidents of real world violence because, a bunch of Muslim fundamentalists storming across the border into Israel, killing children in front of their parents, then shooting the husband and raping the woman in the bed with the blood of the husband all over her. It's not real world violence, including a man opening fire on a pizza shop and the murder of 2 small children. Want to replace this X? Then this one says, Pizzagate was specifically debunked allegation by a guy who got arrested for being a pedophile. Children were being trafficked through a pizza place using codes and rituals. It is not anything bad that ever happens to any kid. So this never happens. Have you seen the movie? You know, the one that just came out. Have you seen it? I mean, anyways. Some of the QAnon community are hyping Elon Musk's promoting of the Pizzagate conspiracy theory, basically the precursor to QAnon, with the QAnon influencer writing that Musk is doing exactly what Anons wished for all these years. He's making Pizzagate mainstream news. Where you at, Larry? Oh, I know. You're probably looking at your child porn. Then Jordan Sattler, I can't say his name. Satter. Ugh. Mumble. You must be uneducated. That's right. I have degrees. 98.8. Oh, come on, computer. There you go. He said this. Pizzagate conspiracy theory. Are they saying pedophiles don't use the code words like pizza and hot dogs in communicating their crimes? Are they saying they don't use it? Because they do. Because they clearly do. This is common knowledge to law enforcement investigating these matters. Are they saying that John Podesta didn't have cheese, pizza, and hot dogs mentioned numerous times in unusual context in his email WikiLeaks released? Because he clearly did. Mainstream media journalists telling you Pizzagate is false and Pizzagate is false are actively covering up for pedophiles and preverts and child traffickers by telling you that they have absolutely no shame, these people. Let me just say this. this transient stuff with all of the trans dudes going into the schools reading about where to put your pickle and that kind of stuff. You know, talking about how you can get a cut a dick off of me or add a dick to me and all this stuff. You know what that's about? About desensitizing you, about pulling you down, about defining deviancy down to a level to where they could finally say, you know, children have the right to choose their partners too. And you'd be like, oh, yeah, it's only fair. It's a human right, duh. That's what they want. Here's Keith Olbermann, whose show doesn't get any more viewers than mine does. After Musk's endorsement of QAnon Pizzagate conspiracy theories, I won't be posting here anymore because no one's caring or even paying attention to me. There are a couple of pre-scheduled promos for the podcast. The last run's 10 p.m. I'm on the other socials under my name or some variation of Countdown with Keith Olbermann. And no one cares. So, you know, they're starting to pull all these lefties. We're not going to be on X anymore. By golly gee, we're not going to do that. Huh. Well, isn't that interesting? This is from, I can't remember which one this is from. Who posted this? And from that guy. It's on my Telegram. You can see it on my Telegram page, but I can't see it in the scroll. Okay. Remember that Pizzagate was not about the basement of Comet Pizza. It was about WikiLeaks. This is what I was getting to. Ping Pong Pizza had nothing to do with Pizzagate. The media just equated the two together, just like Q and Anons are not the same thing. The media just puts the two together to bash them. So it wasn't about the basement of Comet Pizza. It was about WikiLeaks emails from Hillary campaign manager John Podesta and his brother Tony using FBI documented code words for pedophilia. They also had a spirit cooking dinner with this chick right here, Maria Abramovich. She is also very close with Zelensky. That's right. She's the children's ambassador in Ukraine. She is also very close to Zelensky and was just appointed ambassador to position to rebuild schools in Ukraine. Yeah, that's what I just said. Would the libs keep voting blue if they knew their leaders were Satanists and pedophiles? Oh, some guys would. Yes, Voodoo Donuts is also. And there's lots and lots of people on the right who've taken pictures in front of Voodoo Donuts with their little Voodoo Donut dolls. There's lots and lots of Christian leaders. I'm just saying. Here's one of the emails that WikiLeaks. This is called evidence. There's evidence to conspiracy theory. This is one of the Tony Podesta emails. Forward, dinner. Are you in New York City Thursday, July 9th? Maria wants you to come to dinner, Mary. Send from my iPhone. Being a forward message. It says, Dear Tony, I'm looking forward to the spirit cooking dinner at my place. Do you think you'll be able to let me know if your brother is joining? All my love, Maria Abramovich of Abramovich LLC. Spirit cooking. You know what spirit cooking is? Look it up. All the big, it's very trendy, very trendy. All the big people of who's, all the A-listers do it, don't you know? It's very trendy, very trendy. If you are one of the people who are the people, then you would know. Yeah, Becky Siegler. Witchcraft. Yep, in a nutshell. I mean, yep, that's pretty much it. I mean, you want to get down to the blast, but what is it exactly that they're doing? I mean, don't use Google. Use a different one because, well, they lie to you. Just saying. They do not tell you the truth. They lie to you on a regular basis. Let's see here. We got more on this. Oh, yes. There's this guy. Remember I was telling you this guy. ABC News. ABC News. Former ABC investigative journalist pleads guilty to child pornography charges. Elon shares that. People don't believe it because the media is out there right now. They're out there going, it's a conspiracy theory. It's not true. But it is true. And those that are screaming the loudest, Keith Olbermann, are participating. Why haven't any of the people been arrested who participated in what? Epstein's mistress, whatever her name is, Gaswell, whatever her name is, went to jail for? Asking for a friend. Liz Cochran, breaking. Elon Musk shares story on ABC News reporter arrested for child porn. Elon Musk posted a story on ABC News reporter James Gordon Meek, 53 of Arlington, Virginia, who admitted in U.S. District Court in Alexandria that he illegally possessed and transported child pornography. He's got to change the words because Gagswell, that's pretty good. Because if you say the other words, Facebook and YouTube gets mad at you. I mean, you could put that stuff on their sites and they won't do anything about it. But you can't say the words. He covered national security issues for the network until he resigned last year. ABC News has covered up Pizzagate for years and has also slandered and mocked yours truly, Liz Crokin, how do you say her name? Let's not also forget that ABC News killed Amy Robot's story about convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking of minors to protect Epstein's clients and co-conspirators, like Bill Clinton. The mainstream media is filled with pedophile and pedophile protectors and a bunch of preverts. They are the enemy of children. Look, let me be straight about something though. If two consenting adults, even if the adult is 20 and 90, if two consenting adults decide to do some weird, kinky stuff behind closed doors, by themselves, whatever, fine. Fine. But this kid stuff, there isn't short enough ropes. The media will sit here and say, hey, Pizzagate and hot dog dick conspiracy theories. But then they'll go on and talk about the what's the little bath scrunchy things and the pineapples down in Florida. That's not a conspiracy. That's real. I mean, you're only one step away. Don't look it up. Just don't look it up. The Villages, America's friendliest hometown. And as Joe Biden says, they're really friendly. A little too old for Joe, though. Oh, Mike. I know I'm terrible. Elon Musk tweeted this out. Amazon announces Q. AWS announces Amazon Q to reimagine the future of work. It's an AI processor Amazon called Q. Elon says, so many Qs out there. Weird. Why is that? Why? Georgiani says the Villages, STD capital of the world. Yeah, TMI. Like I said, you don't want to look this stuff up. Washington Post becomes the latest company to stop ads on Twitter. X missed the controversies. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Washington Post is way too close to the pedophiles. They can't have it. They can't have it. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's change the subject. The Villages. Anyways, go check out my product, the Liquid Biocell. If you haven't done so yet, why not? Many of you have tried it. Many of you have tried it here lately because they have their Black Friday, their Cyber Monday, I don't know what it is. They have their November sales, and there's a bunch going on right now. They're still, they've got right now that if you purchase $99 worth of product, they're giving you the probiotics, which I take. So I was taking an antibiotic for the cough that I had, and it's worked. You notice I'm not coughing. I don't even have to put a cough drop in my mouth. And, some sweet people sent me some cough drops in the mail the other day. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. I don't know if you're watching, but if you're out there, thank you for that. So they got these probiotics, and they're in a little green package. You tear it, it's sweet. It tastes like sweet cucumber. I don't know how to describe it. It's got a refreshing taste, and it just kind of dissolves in your mouth. And it's probiotic. It's all the good stuff, right? And because I was taking the antibiotics will destroy your gut health too. the antibiotics will destroy all the good bacteria down through your system. And I was starting to get some stomach issues from taking it. I said, honey, do we still have some of that stuff? She said, yeah, it's in the cupboard. And so I've been taking that, and that's made a big difference in restoring the stuff that you need in your stomach. There's bacteria in your digestive system that you want there to help, process the processes. And so if you buy $100 worth, it's $99 worth of liquid BioCell and OVA today, they'll throw in a box of the probiotics. Thank you, Elizabeth, for posting that. She says, send Mike a Christmas card to P.O. Box 71, LaMonte, Missouri, 65337, if you'd like to. Yes. Kathy says the probiotic is wonderful. She must be taking it. I've never really promoted it, but they're giving it away for free if you purchase. It's called gas, Mike. Yeah, it's maybe, but it helped. I'm just saying. It helped. So if you want to get your hands on these products and get in there while they're having all these doorbuster sales and all these, that one ends tonight at midnight Mountain Time. So if you get in there today and you order a product, you get it for free. Go over to the Patriot Mike Show on Facebook. Type Patriot Mike Show. Scroll down to see my wife's beautiful face where she's eating a chocolate sauce, makes your pants fall off. A comment that you want to know more. We'll send you a link. It'll save you a few bucks off your first purchase. And then, oh, by the way, they're throwing in 10% discount store-wide. So anything you purchase is 10% discount, and you can stack the discount. So when you get the new customer discount, when I send you the link, you can stack the discount. So you could do that. And the chocolate sauce that she's eating is called Trim, and it inhibits fat storage, restores, improves muscle tone, and restores youthful skin. My wife has lost several pounds taking that product, and we started taking it again, and I've lost 15 pounds before Thanksgiving. I think I put most of that back on Thanksgiving, but that's a different story. We'll just keep going. It'll be fine. It's okay. So that is a great product. We also have another product called Burn, and we have another product called Carb Bluster, which my mother-in-law was taking. She took from 20 to 21. In a year's time, she went from a size 24 to a size 21, just taking the Burn and the Carb Blocker. So, and you can also add the Trim to the Curb and the Block and get even better results. So, see, Trumpet for Life says, I got my Black Friday order in yesterday, and I'm trying the chocolate chews this time. A lot of people really like the BioCell chocolate chews. That is another option. You don't have to do, just plenty of different options. You can try different things. But anyways, if you don't want to go to Facebook and do it that way, you can send me a message on any platform. Anywhere that there's Messenger, send me a message, and I'll get the message. I'll send you the link. Or you can send a text message to 660-620-2644, or send an email to patriotmikeshow@gmail.com. If you want to send a snail mail, you can send the snail mail to the P.O. Box 71, LaMonte, Missouri, 65337. You can also hit the link in the description section. It says link to the BioCell. Click on it. It'll take you there. It counts. It gives you the discount. It's perfect. And if you want to make a few bucks, as we go into this recession that we're about to go into, you can send me a message on that too, and we'll talk. All right, because I can show you how you can make a few bucks doing just doing this, right? So, changing the subject a little bit. Speaking of transients, I played a video the other day of some dude with some dude dressed as a girl with a mustache, because he must stash you a question. And talking about how he's so excited because he read the Quran. He just didn't get to the part about take him up to the high place and throw him off. But, anyways, that's all good. Here's a compliment. They're doing it. This is a push from the deep state. They want everybody, every LBGTQRS TV WXYZ plus minus multiplication exclamation point long division question mark people to go out and read the Quran and promote that they're reading the Quran. Look at this.
I started reading Quran.
I just started reading the Quran.
So I've been reading the Quran, and I have a
Salam. Good morning.
And this is why so many people are starting to read the Quran.
So I ordered a Quran and I just wanted to show you how heavy.
Okay, so I'm an ex-Christian
Where's your
reading the
bird at?
Quran. Today, I'm going to go through fighting war.
Started reading the Quran. This is the
We're on the Quran, and we're on Joseph.
So I have started already tonight a little bit.
It is my first time reading the Quran. I thought I would share my thoughts on the first.
This sentence from the Quran just answered a question I.
Okay, guys, so I got the Quran. I got like a version that I can.
So I'm an atheist who recently got a copy of the Clear Quran to start reading.
I just started reading the Quran and I am so.
So my wife, I just started reading the Quran and I'm so excited and I got a mustache and they surely won't throw me off the highest building and stone me afterwards. This is all about leading the pedophile. Because in the Quran, yeah, it's okay. Do you know that there's Muslim clerics out there that say that if you have sex with a woman, it's an abomination to God. But if you have sex with a small boy or a goat, it doesn't make you unclean. Akbush Nekbar. So all these young transients are now looking forward to the opening of the Ogbu Snack Bar, and they should go out and get an Ogbu Snack Bar t-shirt. Just like you should go out and get an Ogbu Snack Bar t-shirt while all these, look, I probably ought to sell franchises because it's going to be a booming place with all these transients turning into Muslims. Serves the best BLTs in the Middle East. That's right. But here they are. This is a push. This is intentional. This is they're paying these people. I guarantee you, somebody is. You need to go out and read the Quran. Every time I hear him say Quran, 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 my wife, the Cajun, she says, go get out to my grandkids. Go out and get your Qurans in color. And I'm like, it's not Qurans, it's crayons. Quran is something else. The link to the t-shirts, Becky, is in the description section. And yes, they'll send them to you. Got mine in the mail. Got mine on. I'd say Becky goes to church where I go to church. I would wear one to church on Sunday, but I won't be there. So, oh my goodness. Gotta love it. Gotta love these people. It's sick and getting sicker. So then there's this story. Breaking news from Washington, D.C. yesterday.
Near the White House, the National Park Service. Okay, they told us just within the last 15 minutes that a big gust of wind knocked over the national Christmas tree. It's all set for a big tree lighting ceremony on Thursday. Ardelia Gonsalves just arrived on the scene. So, Delia, we know that the National Park Service is assessing the damage. What can you see from your vantage point?
Unfortunately, we can't see a whole lot. We did circle around the ellipse for some time, but we can see this massive crane that they brought in, and that crane is working very carefully to try to upright that Christmas tree that fell. We're told the Christmas tree fell just around 2 o'clock this afternoon. It was a completely decorated tree. I'm told the contractor is willing to come back and redecorate, but they're not even certain if this tree is salvageable at this point. As you can imagine, and you saw me all bundled up, the wind is biting today. Very strong gusts here in downtown DC. So that tree falling over at 2 o'clock this afternoon hasn't been lifted just yet, so it's unclear what the condition of that tree will be. However, we're told the show will go on.
So I don't know if this is at the line where this was. Downtown DC, some big old Christmas tree blowed over in the wind. Yes, well, this is why they want to ban the memes. I'm just saying. Help, I've fallen and I can't get up. Joe, you knocked down the tree. Oh my goodness. Yes. Everybody's saying it's a sign. It was the White House Christmas tree. Okay, cool. And then there's this one. Eric Trump. if the administration was depicted by a Christmas tree, this pretty much sums up the entire Biden presidency. Oh, yes. Oh, you can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, how long have they been planting the Christmas tree at the White House? They go and they get some big tree from, you know, you've seen it in the news where they're going out to Walla Walla, Washington or someplace. They load it on a back semi truck. They get a police escort all across the country. It's a big to-do. And they put this tree out there and they stab it into the ground or however they do it. I mean, they've cut the tree down. It's dead anyway. And they decorate it all up. Voila, who cares? But I've never heard it fall over before. Huh. It's weird. I wonder, there's prophetic words about stuff falling over in D.C. Just wondering. Well, it was cut down before it was shipped there, Shirley. Now here's speaking of politics. Oh, I forgot to play that one. Shame on me. All this stuff. There's no pedophiles. There's none of that stuff. You got to remember, some of the most influential, most A-list people on the planet.
I'm not in your world. I'm not constrained pretty well by anything. The tough thing in life is ultimate freedom. How do they know whether I am or not? How does anybody know whether I am? Nobody knows whether I am or not. I know I'm not. I'm feared in every girls' school in this country.
And he'd be putting his fingers inside of me. And that was so painful.
The only woman we could find that had played any part in his life was his mother.
Mother really became attached to him, and he became attached to Mother.
When she died,
yeah,
you sat with her.
Yeah.
For 5 days, you sat with her for a long time. So it did happen.
Not really, no. It's not really in the macabre sense. It was in the good, fun sense. Look at that. That is supposed to be me, Ernst. What did I ever do to you that you would draw that picture of me?
Everything.
Super times for all. No danger about it. In fact, let me tell you, if you don't work in a hospital, you really are missing something. In fact, you're missing everything.
Yeah, there's nothing going on. Nothing going on with the A-list celebrities. Nothing to worry about here, folks. It's all good. It's all good. Let's switch to the subject. Let's get off that subject before I get kicked off of every channel. Chris Christie, he's on CNN, and he's excited because he's got momentum. The big Mo. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Coming from behind, breaking wind and moving forward is Krispy Kreme. Going to catch that old mean Donald Trump.
New Hampshire said they are open to changing their minds between now and primary day on January 23rd. So, you know, I know everybody wants to make this race over now, but it's not over, and it's not even close to over. And when you look at the history, forget about predictions. Let's look at what's happened over time. And what's happened tells you that there's a long way to go here, and I like the fact that we're gaining momentum now.
It does.
I like the fact that we're gaining momentum now. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We were at 3% in the polls, and we've gone up to 3.001% in the polls. We got the big Mo, the big energy. We're going to catch. I know he's 65% in the polls, and I'm only 3%, but I'm going to catch him. I tell him I can run faster than him. I can, especially if I'm rolling downhill. Anyways, Krispy Kreme's got dreams, but nobody's going to vote for you, dude. I mean, come on, man. Save your money. Go sit on the beach with Joe or something. So I talked to you about the well, here, let me do this one first. Let's see here. Do I not have it? I thought I had it. Maybe it's over here. Let's see. Nope. Okay. All right. We'll do it this way. It's on my Twitter account. And my computer doesn't want to let me get to it. Oh my goodness. This is terrible. There we go. We got to it. All right. Technical difficulties with Mike. You know, when you got people who who help you and do these things for you, it's a lot easier. But I don't have those people. It's just me. So you get what you get and you don't throw a fit, right? Oh, I didn't share it. Why didn't I share it? Doggone it. All right. So for some reason it's not here what I wanted to talk about. That's okay. We'll do it this way. So you heard about I talked about it yesterday, about Donald Trump's team in the lawsuit, the January 6 criminal charges that he's been filed. It's going to be in DC, how he is filing for disclosure and he's asked for a bunch of stuff. And well, some of it the judge has denied. And here is the who's reporting here? New York Post reporting. Judge denies Trump's bid to subpoena House January 6 committee documents. Fishing expedition is what she calls it. This is former President Donald Trump's effort to subpoena information related to the House investigation into January 6th U.S. Capitol riot was blocked Monday by a federal judge. This is going to get appealed. This is going to go all the way to Supreme Court, who ruled that the request seemed like nothing more than a fishing expedition. Trump and his legal team sought to subpoena Representative Bernie Thompson, Democrat, Massachusetts, the chairman of the House January 6 Select Committee, and the other government officials over allegedly mishandling materials from the panel's archives. Yeah, they deleted them all. Why? The broad scope of the records the defendant seeks and his vague description of the potential evidence resemble less than a good faith effort to obtain identified evidence. Mind you, it was all of the evidence from January 6th that led to the charges. From the January 6th committee that led to the charges. And then the committee deleted said evidence. Now Donald Trump wants to get his hands on it to defend himself. And now she says, you can't do that. Well, yeah, you can. That attempts to use the Rule 17 subpoena, a discovery device. Judge Tanya Chunkin wrote the order denying the subpoena request. In August, Thompson noted that the committee did not keep records of materials that were not used during the panel's hearing or featured in its publications, leading Trump's lawyers to question whether they had been lost, destroyed, or altered. Well, they admitted to destroying them. The Select Committee did not archive temporary committee records that were not elevated by the committee's actions, such as the use in hearings or in other publications, or those that did not further its investigative activities or its narrative, Thompson wrote. Accordingly, and contrary to the letter's implication, the Select Committee was not obligated to archive all video recordings and transcribed interviews or depositions, Thompson wrote in August. In response to the accusations from Representative Barry Loudermilk, Republican, Georgia, that some records were missing. Loudermilk, the chairman of the House Subcommittee on Oversight for the Committee on the House Administration, that's a lot, is leading an investigation of January 6th committee's work. Trump had sought to subpoena the Georgia Republican as well, along with the archivist of the National Archives and the Records Administration, the clerk of the House of Representatives, special counsel to the President Richard Saber, and general counsel to the Department of Homeland Security, Jonathan Meyer, as part of this denied request. The Select Committee's final report, released last December, accused former president of engaging in criminal multi-part conspiracy to overturn the results of the 2020 election. Well, if they're using this stuff as material against him, then he should have the right to use this stuff to defend himself, but they're not allowing it. The central cause of January 6th was one man, former President Donald Trump, who many others followed. The report stated none of these events on January 6th would have happened without him. Well, none of these events on January 2nd would have happened without Nancy Pelosi and Mike Pence and Chuck Schumer either. Just saying. The panel, in other notable conclusion, found that Trump and his allies engaged in some 200 acts of targeting state legislators or state and local election officials in attempting to overturn the 2020 election results. Anyways, the judge has denied him into acquiring this evidence because, well, you can't have that evidence. You're not entitled. But even though they're using this evidence against him, they're going to use stuff from the January 6th hearing against him. What if there was stuff that the January 6th hearing didn't put into the report because it exonerated Trump? Isn't he entitled to any information that exonerates him? Evidently, that's not so. Because, well, if it doesn't fit the narrative, then they don't want you to know about it. Isn't that weird? So, let me see here if I can find it. Kash Patel, he had something to say about this. He was curious, and he's like, wait a second here. Don't you have authority and power over there in the House? He says, hey, House Republicans, you're the majority. Act like it. Turn over all the records this political bandit refuses to allow. At real Donald Trump access. You hold the keys, do your job. That's right. If there's documents out there, number one, that the House committee destroyed, then there ought to be questions about that. There ought to be looking into that. There ought to be charges filed. If there's evidence out there that exists, it should be given to Donald Trump. Just give it to him. So the question's up in the air. What will happen with that? We don't know. Then there's this story. This is a Navy doctor who has recently come out and spoke out about what's going on in the military with the pokey doke. He says, thank you to the congressmen and women raising concerns over the injustice of illegal shot mandate. With that said, my wife and thousands of us who will stop until there's accountability. Well, I think it was meant to say will not stop. The only way to right this ship, the effects from this is just beginning. So this is what the doctor had to say.
So you may have seen my wife's recent post, and I want to elaborate on that and give you an example as to why reinstatement, back pay, and apologies isn't enough. So in July, Undersecretary Cisneros acknowledged the DMET data, the database working properly, and also acknowledged things such as myocarditis rising 151%. So what I did, I went in today. I'm doing the same thing, 5-year average. However, I'm comparing it to 2022, and I only am using fixed wing pilots and helicopter pilots, active duty. So we get hypertensive disease, 36%, ischemic heart disease, 69%, pulmonary heart disease, 62%, heart failure, 973%, other forms of heart disease, 63%, cardiomyopathy, 152%.
You hear those numbers? You hear those numbers? 900 heart failure is up 973% in the military since, the pokey-doke. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I talked about it yesterday. I talked about it the day before, and there's more and more of this coming. They're going to do it again. They're building the narrative. They're getting it primed in the pump so they can come along and say, we're all going to die from the newest pandemic. Everybody go in your basements and fill out your mail-in ballots. Here it is. Bannon reporting.
Now it's the Mac Daddy. Europe, it's surging in Europe. They're putting masks on in China. Is this planned? You just came back from Romania. You guys come back and all of a sudden they go full bore. Are they afraid that you were ahead of the curve here and shutting this thing down, sir?
I wish that we were that effective, but the Slovenia, Slovakia, and the recent election of Geert Wilders all suggest that there is some momentum. But the short version is, I think that this is another case of fear porn. It appears to be mycoplasma with a background of respiratory syncytial virus and influenza virus. And I think that this is another gross overreaction, but I do see a lot of masks on the planes coming from those areas of the world that are very much caught up in the narrative.
I tell you what, Doc, just hang right there. I want to come back to you and drill down this because this is going to drive everything. They're going to pull out every stop. To get to the mail-in ballots, you got to have a pandemic. They got one coming from China again, and they've got one in Europe. I don't know what it is. It's the flu or, people get a runny nose. Next thing you know, mask mandates, all of it. Birchgold.com.
So they're pushing the narrative. It happened in 2019 in November, December. We started seeing the stuff coming out of China. And the next thing you know, the great panic was on. Got to shut it down. Got to shut it. We're all going to die. Close the schools. We're all going to die. Don't let them do it to us again. We've taught them that we'll listen. If your church shuts down, run. If your school shuts down, show up to the board meetings and throw a fit. Don't let them do this to you again. Because it's not real. Oh, sure, there's probably, this cough that everybody's got, the one that took me 2 months to get over with, had to get some antibiotics. There's something going around. Something goes around all the time. But they're going to try to make something out of it. Hey, thanks, Mike, for that over on Rumble. I appreciate it. Got one more story. I got a minute or two left. I got one more story I want to cover before we get off here today. And that is this one right here. General Flynn tweeted out a story from Liz Cochran. It said the FBI initially said that they had little or no evidence, but then wanted to wait 66 years to release any evidence. WTH. Good for this judge. Let's see who squirms the most. That will be the real tell. And then he tags a bunch of people. So what are you talking about? He's talking about this story here. Judge orders FBI to turn over theft Rich's laptop. How this ties to Pizzagate. Say what? Now all of a sudden Elon Musk talking about Pizzagate. Now this? The Texas federal judge has ordered the FBI to disclose information on theft Rich. Judge Amos Mazet requested that they turn over his personal laptop, work laptop, and DVD and tape drive within 14 days. The mainstream media told you that Russia hacked the DNC and provided WikiLinks that with that email I showed you, the Podesta stuff with the DNC and Podesta emails, that's a proven lie. WikiLinks did not, Russia did not hack the DNC. It didn't happen. It was inside. There's evidence that Rich, who went by the name Panda in anonymous online chats, was the source. That means Rich exposed Pizzagate, and we never would have learned about it if it was not for his sacrifice. The FBI and the DOJ denied it for years that they had any evidence tied to Rich also. The FBI previously requested that in this case for another 66 years before releasing information on Rich. Why would they want to wait 66 years? Rich was murdered in July 2016 in a reported attempted robbery where nothing was stolen. This was always a false narrative they pushed to cover the story. Rich was a targeted hit. It was reported in 2017 that the DC police failed to properly investigate the case. To put it lightly, this was a massive cover-up. Julian Assange, who founded WikiLinks, strongly implied Rich was the source and even offered a $20,000 reward for information that would lead to the arrest of those responsible for his murder. Why do you think they want Julian Assange so bad? Time is up for the deep state. Nothing will stop the truth about Seth Rich and Pizzagate from coming out. Crimes against children will unite humanity, and mass exposure of Pizzagate will be the final death blow that ends the satanic pedophile cabal. Yeah, Panda is also a pedo thing. It surely is. I caught that too. So you have to ask yourself, let me just say this. These people that I'm talking about, these perverted, prevert, Satan worshiping, adrenochrome people, all these people. I put the cream on my face that's made from penis skins. Yes, there's a video out there. These people who have sold their souls to the god Baal, the god Moloch. These people will burn this world to the ground before they allow any of this information to come out. Mark my words. And we are there any minute. Any minute. And to you trolls out there watching, you're just a conspiracy theorist. Hey, disprove anything I said in my show. Disprove any of it. I dare you. I double dog dare you, because you can't. All this stuff is out there. It's been known. All these little words they use, like hot dogs and pizzas and all this stuff, they all have meaning. I mean, all of these cops and stuff over the years that investigate this, they know what this stuff means. They'll tell you. It's going to get great. Like I said, they'll burn it to the ground. Watch what happens. Be ready. And if you don't own it, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. It's just going to evaporate and cease to exist. You guys have a great day. I will see you all tomorrow. This is Wednesday. I'll be live tomorrow. I will not be here Friday. If you're anywhere in the Tennessee area, come out to Greg's Lock. We're going to debate whether the earth is round or the earth is flat. Frankly, I don't care. I think it's going to be entertaining to just be in the room. But a bunch of folks, podcasters, Kim Clement's daughter, Trey Smith, I don't know, several others. I can't think of the top of my head, to tell you the truth. There's a list somewhere. I ought to get it. I think if you think of being a pro at this, I would have a list, right? Anyways, at the Hilton Garden Inn, I think it's 6 o'clock on Friday evening. I'll be there. Come by, say hi. Bring your t-shirt. I'll sign it for you. How about that? If you order it right now, it will not get there in time. You guys have a great day. Patriot Mike is out of here.